Less than 24 hours, Georgians will be under a shelter-in-place order.
McDonald, though, said he did not know the man was handcuffed and was trying to use his foot to pin him to the ground so he could be handcuffed.
If your friends, neighbors, or local organizations are not complying, report them to us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Free Georgia podcast. My name is Jake Green. Thank y'all so much for joining today. First off, if you have any questions about Libertarian Party of Georgia or the Libertarian Party in general, you can go to lpgeorgia.com to learn all about our party, what we believe in, what we are doing around the state of Georgia. Our convention is coming up soon. You can get your tickets now. Early bird tickets are available until October 30th, $62. From October 30th to December 6th, they are $75. And December 6th to the day of, they're $85. It will be January 26th through the 28th down in Conyers, Georgia at the VFW post number 5290. So make sure to go ahead and get your tickets now while they're cheaper. And then other things are on our website. You can see what our platform is, headlines, affiliates. You can see our bylaws. What is a libertarian? You can take the world's smallest political quiz. You can see some of our campaigns, our advertisements, things like that. So head on over to lpgeorgia.com to learn more about our party and what we're doing around the great state of Georgia. All right, today I have a guest who is running for Savannah Council District 3 down in the beautiful city of Savannah. It's where I went to college. His name is Clinton Cowart. Clinton, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me.
Glad to be here.
Absolutely. Can you tell people who you are, where you come from, and like why you're, let's start with those two.
Okay. I'm Clinton Cowart. I am from Savannah, Georgia. I'm a long-time resident. I did take off for a couple of years for college, but of course I came home. I'm now running for District 3 of Savannah, Georgia's City Council. It's a local municipal election, non-partisan, so I don't have to worry about signatures.
That's a plus. What do you do when you're not running for office? Like do you have a day job? What do you do?
Well, I'm an HR professional. I'm doing a contract right now with a local company, subcontracting workers for logistics, moving, trucking, stuff like that. Before that, I was an HR director of a hospitality agency that, we received tips from hospitality industry, hotels, motels, resorts. I did that for a couple of years under 1099. And on and off, I've been writing employee handbooks for local businesses. I have a resume or two that I do for money. I consult for money. And I do wrongful terminations. I just do a little bit of this and that in HR.
Okay, that sounds like very much my life of just doing a little bit here and there of different things in the film industry.
Well, also I'm an actor. So.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, when you're in entertainment, you have to have multiple jobs. You have to have multiple hats and do a whole bunch of different things.
I was in IT for about 10 years, and I hated it. Oh, I hated it. So.
Really? What's the difference between as far as like culture and likability of the job between HR and IT?
IT pays good, but it's very chaotic, and it's more antisocial than HR.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't. I guess have I been on stage since I was a 10-year-old little boy. I don't like being isolated.
Okay, that's good to know. Tell us why you wanted to run for Savannah City Council.
Well, pretty soon I didn't like the direction that the city was going in overdevelopment, taxing people into the oblivion where they can't afford to keep their residency, forcing people to have to move or couch surf or worse, end up homeless. Their solution is always raising taxes. Their second solution is always raising the minimum wage. And then they act shocked when prices go up and things become worse. And then, of course, overdevelopment, and then not understanding why tourism drops. Well, if you change the entire display and scenery of your city, which is the very reason tourists are coming there, and you make it more expensive, less tourism is going to thrive. You know,
Yeah, that seems very logical to me.
a lack of transparency really irritated me. Making below $400 million on numerous brand new buildings for schools, yet they can't hire teachers. They can hire dummy terminal computers, but they still use the same outdated method of instruction when it comes to K through 12. Then there's the misuse of funds, such as $124,000 to build a small open gazebo, which was nothing but plywood and sheet metal and some concrete and some picnic tables. Something that my father could have built for 15 grand. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, misappropriation of funds, misuse of funds. Yeah, that doesn't sound very good. Have you run for office before? Like, have you done anything in the public sector before like this?
I ran for state representative in 2021. The incumbent passed away unexpectedly.
Yeah.
And it was me, well, it was 5 of us. And I came in third. It was my first time. And I ran as a Libertarian. Because back then, it was before our wonderful Secretary of State that bill to where any third party has to have so many signatures to be on the ballot.
Right.
So I was on the ballot and the Libertarian, and it came in third out of 5 people. That was my first time.
Okay. How, what things did you learn from that campaign that is helping you in this one?
What I learned was great. Implementing what I know is another story altogether. I learned that it can't all be done behind the keyboard, number one. You have to have boots on the ground. You have to have a team that's willing to knock on doors. You have to have a team that's willing to hand out flyers in person. You have to have a team that's willing to go to events, food drives, in person. The internet, people have become desensitized to it. You do need an internet presence, but now it's just kind of a bonus rather than the whole shebang. I say 10 to 15 years ago, you could probably conquer strides with the internet, but it's so crowded nowadays, people just tune it out. So you kind of have to do in-person, internet, radio, TV. You need a truckload of volunteers. And even then, nothing's guaranteed.
Right. Well, how's the campaign going so far? Like, what's your progress with this one?
It's interesting. I've got more people taking down my signs, stealing my signs, or tearing them up. At first, it upset me, but then I thought, I kind of like this. I think they're afraid of me. It's bringing out people's true colors. The incumbent made some derogatory statements, stating my name afterwards, which they're not directly bigoted, but they imply a certain way of thinking. And because this person lacks all, how can I say, self-awareness, they're advertising the very article that they gave an interview for where they're incriminating themselves and basically being a bigot. I was going to, respond. I went, no, they're doing it for me.
That's interesting. So people are taking down your signs and tossing them away. That's so interesting. That does sound like you're doing something right and that you're making strides. Like if you were no threat at all, they wouldn't care and they would just leave your daggum signs alone. So that's interesting.
They're going out of their way to make sure people don't even know I'm running. That's why I find humorous.
Gotcha. Do you know how much do you know about the folks you're running against? Like what do they support? What are their policies? That kind
Well, a lot of them think everything can be resolved by raising minimum wage, which they like to now recoin a fair living wage, which is just wordplay. I grew up on government my whole life, and I can tell you right now, every time minimum wage goes up, whenever you receive from Uncle Sam goes up, prices go up, taxes go up, so you end up with the same or less after you pay all your bills. It doesn't make a difference, but it makes people feel good. And now that minimum wage has gotten a bad stigma, they're now using the coin phrase living wage or basic living wage. It's the same thing they did almost 70 or 80 years ago. They stopped calling places neighborhoods and started calling them communities after, communism. And people never took notice. Change the words, you change the perception. So.
Interesting. Yeah, there's a massive amount of wordplay in the world today where definitions change really quickly and kind of without anybody objecting or really even noticing.
Well, people are afraid of being called a hate monger, which is opinion or prejudice. And because they're so terrified of that horrible cloud going over their reputation, they just kind of go along with anything. I must have heard the word inclusion and diversity 50 trillion times in every forum I go to. And I'm thinking, okay, when we talk about inclusion, what do you mean? We're going to include everybody, even people that, are harmful to us? I mean,
right.
And diversity, are we talking about diversity of appearance or are we talking about diversity of policy?
Right. Diversity of thought over diversity of skin color or whatever. Yeah. So campaign seems like it's going somewhat well as far as attention that you're getting. I mean, I pulled up this article earlier. You got a full article in the Savannah Morning News, Savannah Now. And yeah, how are things going with the press? Like, are you getting more interviews like this one, or is
Actually, I got a better interview. The one that interviewed all the candidates where my incumbent is spreading the word about themselves. It was actually a very good article. It was in the Savannian. It's a publication in Savannah. And that was a very favorable article. It's on my Facebook. I don't know. Display. Is there a chat on here where I can just give you here's my link tree that you can connect to all my platforms, including my Facebook. It has the article on my Facebook, and I might have pointed out on my Instagram. And I have a political Facebook group and my regular personal Facebook profile. I'm on Rumble. I've been dabbling with Minds, but I still haven't gotten the hang of mine.
I haven't either. I looked into Minds. It's just adding another social media program seems seems like a lot.
And I should update some of my personal websites, like my HR website, because it probably doesn't even function anymore. But I've been so lazy to update my websites. I used to build websites for a little chump change on the side, and that is not for me.
I agree. Building websites is time-consuming, exhausting.
And you have to have a visual eye, and a taste and color. And I'm not an artist. I can make it function, but pretty,
Fair enough. All right, so let's talk about your campaign, like what you're pushing for, what you're running on. Just give me a list of like the top priorities of your campaign.
My number one priority is transparency. I think that people need to know in real time, and I'm not talking months later, real time, how their money is being used and where it's going. I was in the SPLOSH programs. We've had about, I could be off on this, about 7 SPLOSH programs since probably 2002.
Okay.
And every time they go over budget, they make a new SPLOSH program. They lie to the people and tell them, oh, it's just a penny tax. No, it's a lot more than a penny. Sorry. I also want to tackle crime from a different avenue. Their idea of reducing crime is turning Savannah into a smart city where you have surveillance cameras everywhere. And now with upgrades in technology, they're putting infrared, temperature control, and on and on and on. Identification, facial recognition built into the cameras, or they're retrofitting the old cameras with it.
Right.
They don't have enough money to get actual human police officers. So now they're whining about being 100 and something short of police officers. Well, if you didn't waste your money into transforming Savannah into a concentration camp that spies on everybody and looks at credit history and violates the HIPAA Act, you wouldn't have that problem.
Right.
There's also a big misuse of 911. You have people calling 911 to get a refund, at some restaurant that they think did them wrong. And I'm sorry, but 911 is, hey, I've been shot. Hey, there's an intruder in my house. I'm afraid I'm going to get shot or get stabbed. Hey, I'm being mugged. I'm running as fast as I can. Help. That's 911. Not, hey, I got guilt at this restaurant. They gave me the wrong order, or they haven't even given me my order. Bring the cops here immediately. That's not 911.
Right.
And more,
okay.
I want to reduce taxes. We had a millage rate, and what they is, a little trickery with people. They reevaluated all the properties and real estate in Savannah. By doing this and raising the value of all the real estate, it allowed them to keep the millage rate the same. And by doing these two things, they can raise taxes in the next millage cycle. Now, if real estate had remained at the same value and the millage rate had remained the same, they wouldn't have been able to raise taxes. So they played trickery on people. They told people, oh, we're not raising the millage rate. It's been this way for almost 37 years, and we're going to keep it that way. Therefore, people concluded this means my taxes won't go up. What they left out is, oh, a couple months before we reevaluated your house, and now it has a higher property value. So by doing this, we can keep the millage rate the same and still stick you with $517 of a raise and tax increase. Enjoy. Yeah. Your sound went out. Uh-oh.
Oh, yep. Sorry. That's some of that wordplay that we were talking about earlier. They tell you one thing, but then they find a loophole to sneak it through in another way. We talked about this on, I think it was Free Georgia podcast, like 2 episodes ago, where like the whole shrinkflation thing, where like you think the prices are the same, but you're actually the packages contain fewer ounces, fewer things in them. Yeah. It's like, yeah, your prices aren't going up. You're just getting less money or less things for the money that you're spending.
And their answer to all of this is, we need more affordable housing complexes. Here's an idea. Why don't we just lower taxes? That doesn't guarantee that those people that own privatized apartment complexes will lower their rent. But sure, a great incentive. Number 2, there's a manipulation of annexing and zoning by industrial, corporations. They're finagling the paperwork where they can get it changed from limited industrial to heavy industry. So you got an overdevelopment. Rather than staying in the industry part of the city, they want to branch out, so they've been manipulating the paperwork so they can change their category. And because people, and yes, I'm guilty of it too, we're not keeping track of the finer details. completely unaware how they're I can't even speak, manipulating the paperwork when it doesn't follow the change your category status. But and if we're aware of this, you know, whoa. No, you don't get to change to light industry to heavy industry. There's a residential area over here. You're going to be impeding. You got plenty of space over here. I don't care what you want. You stay on your side, you know, you stay on our side. And then you have the overdevelopment of our downtown, River Street, Bay Street. They say, oh, this is to attract more tourists. Allow me to remind you why tourists come here. The historical scenery, one, and lower prices, two. You build all this crap, it destroys the historical scenery. And with raising the motel and hotel tax, which the state did, I'll have no control over that. That's going to raise prices, which it already has, at every venue, restaurant, hotel, whatever. People are not going to come here for their vacation. They're going to drop off because it's becoming expensive and everywhere else.
Interesting.
Himself in the foot.
Yeah, no kidding. You mentioned a little while ago about the turning Savannah into a smart city, which is something that LP Georgia has been heavily protesting recently. If you want to learn more about that, you can go to banishbigbrother.com to learn about smart cities and why you should oppose them with all your might. So yeah, head on over to banishbigbrother.com. It is a big project that LP Georgia is working on right now.
And people need to know, even though I'm not in technology anymore, these technology companies, they're going to profit in the billions. So they're going to lie to the city officials, and they know most of them are computer illiterate. Right. They're going to tell them, oh, there's no way that anyone can get through our software and get your medical records and get your credit. Lie. Not only do they have access to it, they can sell it, they can harvest it, not on and on and on. I mean, you think our ballot issues and voting is a mess because of technology, and which is why many of us want to bring back paper ballots, then you haven't even looked at these cameras.
Yeah, seriously.
For every crime they claim it stops, it opens up the door to dozens of other crimes. And if you think they really reduce crime, just go down River Street where there's a ton of cameras and let me take your wallet and see how long it takes the cops to come help you.
Right.
I guarantee you, if you're jaywalking, you'll get a ticket in the mail in no time flat in a week, you know?
Interesting. Can you tell us like what the biggest struggles are with the campaign, or like what you need help with as far as any like volunteers or help on the campaign or whatever?
Well, we have about 28 more days. Probably canvassing. Although we canvassed very thoroughly, you know, people are being barraged with other candidates, and we have to keep reminding them. Like this is first day of early voting, and I've already released videos on the internet. But like I said, the internet's oversaturated, so I don't know how many people will be able to see the videos. They're on my YouTube,
right?
On my Facebook group and my regular Facebook. They're on my Rumble and my Instagram, and they're even on LinkedIn. But you know, like I said, I'm not 19 anymore, and I really don't know how to market it to spread the audience on the World Wide Web. What we need more than anything is probably sign waivers now, because knocking on doors has kind of dwindled down now that people are actually going to vote. We need people waving my campaign sign.
Okay.
That's what we need until November the 7th, at least 30 minutes a day or something in certain areas near the polls.
Yeah.
Of course, we can't get you close because of the election regulations, but you know.
Right. But close enough to where people will see it. Interesting. So early voting started today. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. And so we've got, I guess, 3 or 4 weeks until the actual election happens?
November the 7th is the actual election. So I get 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
Like
Okay. Let's see. You mentioned, hang on one second. I'm going to reshare this. These are all the places where you can be found online. I mean, a plethora of places. I think you've got all your bases covered. You can find Clinton on his own website, YouTube channel, Instagram. You said not so much Minds, but
yeah, I'm still having a hard time getting the hang of that.
Yeah, fair enough. Rumble, Facebook, personal Facebook, LinkedIn. I mean, he's got everything. If you want to find anything out about Clinton Cowart, it is easy to find him.
Yeah. Well, I find humorous, and when I have reporters, now these are people calling themselves reporters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell us about yourself. I got at least 2 or 3 different bios from 2 or 3 different websites. You type my name in Savannah, Georgia, you get about 5 to 6 entries of me and one of my departed father. That's it. Yeah.
It's true. I was searching your name before this interview, and you're everywhere. It's so easy to find you.
I know, and these reporters like, well, I've never heard of you. I went, and you call yourself a reporter?
Right. Oh, that is ridiculous.
I mean, not even on the internet. My father raced NASCAR. I mean, come on. Even if you didn't know me, the name just sounded familiar. I mean,
right. So yeah, if you're out there and you want to help out, and you're in the Savannah area or anywhere around there, go to Clinton Cowart's website, get involved, sign up.
You can contact me by Cowart for District 3. That's a direct link.
Mm-hmm.
And I can put you on a corner with a sign for 30 minutes, you know.
I love it, man. I love it. Sounds like you're doing great down there. I'm very happy to see. I always love libertarians running for office and doing a good job at it. So I'm happy to see that you're.
I got some stiff competition, you know. So
yeah.
Well, we'll see.
Well, man, is there anything else that people need to know before we sign off?
Yeah, don't be so eager to throw away your freedom. I know that times are harsh and sometimes they're scary. And if anyone knows anything, when COVID-19 hit, we all went into panic and we eagerly threw away our freedom. Only now we're finding out that the majority of everything that we read and heard was omitted information and only 1/3 of the facts. If we had known everything, we wouldn't have even worn a mask. Most of the people that passed away were handicapped like me, over 40, or suffering from something else, which means a normal flu had killed them. But this is never going to admit that, you know. Yeah. And also, violence isn't just perpetrated by a gun. Gun regulations are not going to do anything but take away your Second Amendment rights. I'm sorry, but people die in many ways. And some of the states that have the harshest gun regulations have a higher murder rate than Savannah, Georgia. So, gun regulations is not the solution.
I love it. Well, Clinton, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Anybody out there who needs to learn more about the Libertarian Party of Georgia, go to lpgeorgia.com. You can also go to Clinton's website to get involved in his campaign and learn more about what he's doing down in Savannah. That'll do it for today, y'all. Make sure you tune in to Liberty Libations every Thursday night at 8 p.m. and the Free Georgia Podcast every Monday night at 8 p.m. We'll see you later. Peace.
Here.